Dino Overhaul X2. One of the hardest ways you can play Ark Ascended. Hardcore mod I've been avoiding for over 2 years, but after my last adventure where we visited some old Ark mods from the past, this is possibly the hardest one we will experience. So this time on Ark Ascended, we return to a more comprehensive, complex progression system where we'll have to gain hunting experience to tame any of these dinos to progress. And to survive, we had to get creative, make use of whatever we had around us and even build inside caves. And this wasn't a challenge lasting a few days either. This is a story how we played 100 days in Ark Ascended on Dino Overhaul X2. Right back on Ragnarok, let's have it. Now, normally when starting these adventures, I would have somewhat of a goal or a plan in mind from the get-go, but this time as my only goal was to survive. I didn't really know where to begin other than just grouping up with the Kisa who spawned right next to me. But it didn't take long until I realized that they had added a new area to the Ragnarok map, so I wanted to check it out. I wasn't sure how brutal this mod was gonna be just yet, but I got humbled very quickly. And this was only the beginning. But the good thing was that I learned early on that if I wanted to actually make it through the mod, I couldn't play as carelessly as I could with other mods, so I was gonna need to change the way I play this game completely.
Ugh, Mike, I almost forgot.
What?
Wait, come here. Okay, yeah, come look.
Look at what?
I forgot to suit up.
Oh, come on! Anything but that. So for now, Akisa wanted to risk it to the other side where we also saw that big darn fish that got me before. But this time, I wasn't gonna be his dessert since we were gonna keep it close to the shore so I wouldn't get gulped down again. Well, we made it safely over to the new area, where I then made myself a primitive pokey stick and had already chosen my first victim. And now, as you can see at the bottom of my screen, I have gained a little bit of hunting experience that will allow me to tame certain dinos. The higher the level of the type of creature, the more XP is needed to tame it. So, if you're gonna go take a look at this stego, I cannot tame it since I simply need more hunting XP to tame it. So for now, we will just have to explore and try surviving. Oh, is that the new buffaloes?
Yeah, they're kind of rude, so be careful.
Akisa wanted to go further inland in search of a cave or something to stay safe. But first, I had to make a spyglass to figure out as well what kind of dinos we are dealing with. I made one of these multi-tools too, which combines all of the tools like the pick and axe into one. But as I got my things sorted out, I had taken sight of this unique pteranodon to tame, but I needed more hunting experience, but I wasn't sure just how much. We can't even bola it! So, we had made it through our first night here, where we got introduced to a lot of new intricate systems for taming any beast and stayed up here in a little cave, which would be our home for now. Now, when we had a place to stay, I made a bed since I will probably experience the afterlife a few more times. And while it was calm, I figured it was time to read through the guide because docks is really overwhelming because the mod is so complex. But basically, power leveling in this mod is a super bad idea since the mod becomes harder the further you progress and level. So we'll just have to work on building a homestead and making some base progression right now. Like even trying to bowl a normal pteranodon with an asterisk was not even an option in this mod. Anyways, when I was moving my way towards the Kisa, I had something flying behind me which I didn't really expect. What's a noon attack? Oh, bro! This noon attack is following me. Okay! So now, when I fell to the noon attack spikes, all of my hunting experience I had on me got completely deleted, so that's another thing to think about. So I have to be way more careful or I will lose my hunting experience I store up. So instead of running all the way back for my starter items, I might as well just make new gadgets instead. But anyways, when I was by this little lake here, I spotted a lonely beaver dam here, but no beaver in sight, so this was an easy grab for 400 cementing paste. When I had wandered around for a while, working on getting myself properly set up, I spotted this wyvern close to our base, but it's probably safe there for now. I didn't worry about it, and I went to collect some hide and some silk from this Lumantra I sniped. I'm not sure what we can do from here. Because that wyvern is literally on our bed. Nesting parent? What do you mean nesting parent? Is there a nest there? You can't be serious that they spawned a nest.
Oh, remember wyverns used to, our nesting ones would fly around their nest.
Yeah, but do we have a nest near our base there?
That must mean that there's a nest there, yeah.
Oh, come on. Why did it spawn a nest there? But for now, I was gonna make a raft and go pick up Ikisa on the other side of the highlands. We were planning on moving to a more secure spot for our base. And when I was just harvesting a little bit of things, I stumbled upon my first pygmy. These do not show up on the scanner at all, so this will be very interesting. So anyways, I got the raft all set up and ready and started heading over to Ikisa to pick her up. I stopped by this whale as well that was just laying here in the water so I could get a plentiful amount of keratin, spoiled meat, hide and some oil. Alright, the mod difficulty is definitely picking up and we really need to find a proper base location. So by the next day, the Titan Overlord showed up in the world that also warped the minds of every wild dino on the map. Actually, what does it do? Does it just power them up? We weren't really sure what it did yet, but as far as we knew, it wasn't anything good. But for now, it's time to head back to the raft since we need to relocate. I will just have to pick up some things along the way first before we left this place for good. Oh, that was a bad idea. What? That wasn't that big of a fall!
Wow, eh?
And when we were leaving towards the mainland to scavenge for some stuff, I noticed that my brain was being heavily dysfunctional, quite like the tribe name we had.
Yeah, there should be some metal right ahead, isn't there?
I don't know. That's not gonna hit it, is it?
Hopefully not.
Isn't that metal right there? Yeah, it's metal right in front of us there.
Sir, I just said that.
But yeah, I gathered up a bunch of metal with the pickaxe I quickly had made to get us some more tools and weapons. And with the docks mod, there will even be flying corrupted dinos on the map that will be a good way of securing some organic polymer for now. Anyways, we made it down to the Highlands metal cave and started gathering up a bunch of crystal and metal. And then we were continuing on our journey towards the next day where we headed pretty far all the way up to the redwoods. So we had thought about this castle here for a base, but to get there we had to pass through this small gap here, but it was being guarded by a freaking alpha wyvern watching over the skies. So we decided to go around the island instead to the castle, making the trip longer. But as soon as we made it up here towards the castle, I was quite displeased by what I saw that lived up here. What is that sound? It is not safe. After a long journey of simple travel, we had finally made it to the very castle we had been longing for, and hopefully this will be the one. So the next day, I was moving all of our stuff from the raft up to the castle since this castle will be our new homestead. And after getting our things moved up here, we had taken a look into the docks guideline where we found out where we could make these so-called XP orbs to store our hunting experience, so we don't have to risk of losing that XP when we take a trip to the respawn screen. But we needed something called genetic strings, which I had no idea how to obtain yet. But we couldn't really make it just yet since we needed the docks crafting table first, and we couldn't even make that one yet because we needed something called docks fragments for that. Well, after we've been in this area for a while, me and Ikisa had been hearing a lot of noise in the premises of our base and we ran around to investigate. But we were not really that happy to see what was lurking in the area. Oh, I see it, I think. Alpha Mega Raptor right there.
Hunted. Oh.
Jesus, stop agitating everything. Whoa, it jumps!
Yeah. Oh, now it's destroying our stuff, Mike.
It's not my fault. I didn't attack it to begin with. So I got a long neck made specifically for this dino so I could attempt doing something with it. And a few bullets to go along with it. The Megaraptor was undeniably the best jumper in the game so far. What? It can jump up there! Yeah, good luck with that, Ikisa. It can jump pretty far out. You think you have a chance against it? It can jump over a castle. And it can hit you through the wall. I think you need something taller, like this up here.
I have a feeling he could probably still get you up there.
Well, I don't know what I'm doing. I was pretty tired of this Mega Raptor and I was gonna try baiting it away, but it somehow jumped away on its own. So now we're finally free from his torment. I just want to get rid of this Carnotaurus outside our castle to make this place even more safer, which gave me 600 XP too. But instead of the Megaraptor, we had this Prime Alpha Karsha outside there now instead that I didn't really want to mess with. So for now, I ran over this bridge here just to grab some metal and flint from the rocks where I spotted a few dinos nearby until Ikisa heard about it and wanted me to tame this Limantria. I wanted to get this Pteranodon for myself, which was a level 20, but I needed Ikisa to get over here with some meat. But now I got both of the flyers so we can maybe traverse a little bit around the map for scouting. Well, we had made some progress and learned a great deal of things in the mod so far, but seeing as we couldn't simply take down this Mega Raptor, we had a very long way to go. So when I logged in the next day after our break, there was apparently a small minor Ark update and I surprisingly logged in the afterlife. And for some reason my whole inventory was missing as well. Our forges had also been Thanos snapped, so I had to make some new ones again. Alright, after getting most of the stuff remade, I heard some noises outside the base where there was a Yeeling shooting at us. But there was an even bigger threat nearby, a literal Giga just standing here wanting a piece of that nugget flying above him. Oh, the Giga Monster Argentavis! And for some reason the Spyglass said it was apparently a tameable passive, which I call a hard cap on. I'm basically inviting myself to be his dinner. Anyways, Ikisa and I had actually thought about moving our base of operations to way more secluded place because this castle wasn't it. But it was gonna take a year or so because Ikisa's moth had literally no stamina.
I don't even know if I'm gonna make it to the beach before I run out of stamina.
We didn't really make it that far away from the castle because we got slammed by some of these creatures called Empowered. So Ikisa ended up losing a 1 mph moth. Alright, aside from the rocky start of logging in with missing pieces of our base, we now have a game plan for a base where it might actually be safer, but we're gonna have to travel pretty far again just to get there. So the next day, we were on the raft going towards this cave next to the highlands. Ikisa had planned on building something for us in here and she had already prepared a few structures for it. Wait, Ikisa, they removed the big rock in the middle!
You tell me I can't put up a tree platform and I made a tree platform?
Yeah, you can't. Where are you gonna place it? You made a tree platform with the cementing paste?
No, it's a rustic one. It doesn't need cementing paste.
Oh, this is polymer here. So for now, Ikisa went back to the castle to grab us a teleporter and make a few new platforms that we could attach in here. So in the meantime, I was waiting for Ikisa to get back. I went to grab some resources nearby for things we were gonna need, like the wood for powering the forge along with some raw metal to refine it. But after a bit of waiting, this place was finally starting to take some shape. It wasn't the prettiest, but we'll eventually get there. This is docks after all, so building an aesthetically pleasing base, that's gonna be hard to keep. We were really not happy with the castle, but this one was shaping up to be at least safer than a castle and way more spacious for our dinosaurs we will be able to tame. For now, we will need more special resources, but I wanted to make a new set of armor before we were going out. We traveled pretty far along the shoreline, close to the Viking Bay, because we thought this might be the spot to grab the silica pearls for electronics. But I was having issues finding the pearls since it's easier doing it during the night since they are all sparkly then, so I harvested some oil instead. And after a little bit of research, we have now figured out how we're gonna be able to get our hands on these so-called dogs fragments we need for the crafting table. And the only time we can get our hands on these fragments is when we have an Overlord presence buff, which we did right now. Basically, we need these dogs fragments to actually get a proper start on the mod, but it's been very slow considering we have a hard time gathering up the hunting experience. And getting our hands on dogs fragments will be also tough considering we have to wait for the Overlord to fly over the map, which are random. What we will have to take down is this glowy dino in order to get my hands on some fragments, and it's very difficult with just our weapons. 53 damage. But I will also need a bunch of fertilized dodo eggs for making some sort of a kibble, but more on that later. For now, we were out in Viking Bay inside this underwater cave to grab a ton of the silica pearls here. Hello, let me pick you up. And back to our lovely abode, where I made this fabricator so I could start processing these pearls to make some electronics. I had made a little bit of electronics, so I will be able to make a generator now at least. But when I was out flying around looking for things to tame, I saw this lonesome bison I picked up, but I got immediately attacked by this other bison. Oh, no, 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 no! Where's my cursor? Whoa! No! I couldn't grapple onto that thingy! Anyways, the next day I was down in the Wyvern Scar with Kisa where she found a lightning Wyvern egg, but she couldn't take it. Warning, nest nearby. Don't you remember in dogs you need to get rid of the parents to take the egg? Yeah? So we skedaddled out of there. And I went over to the Viking Bay beach to grab an alpha dodo since these nuggets are actually a very important part of obtaining pygmies. But it was somehow agitated and didn't really want to accept the berries I had for it. So I gave up on the dodo after a while and I went to grab another pteranodon in the highlands since Kisa had no hunting experience left. And for taming some of the higher tier creatures, we need kibble to be able to do that. We were still way off from making it, so the raw mutton will just have to suffice for normal dinos now. Right, so it slowly came to me that this will be very challenging from the start since we need the hunting experience badly to even progress. And without any dinos at our disposal for combat, it will be a very slow run from the start. We did however trap a high level pteranodon later in between some gates, but it required way more than 500 experience, which was wild. After I got rid of some nearby dinos, it was now enough to catch it. But now when I was home, I had also made a few new structures, so now I could also have some cooked lamb chops, which are very filling. Thereafter, I took the bison I had obtained a few days ago to try it out, and it was apparently really good at gathering berries from bushes. So getting tranquilizer bullets and such will be easy now. Anyways, Ikisa and I have thought about trying to catch an Argentavis so we could utilize it by carrying a bunch of resources around the map when we wanna move. But doing this mountain climbing wasn't ideal. Oh, no, no, I grappled onto you! No!
Oh, there goes your Tammy XP.
And I found out very quickly that the Argentavis, however, needed a kibble for me to tame it. So this was out of the question and we were back at the drawing board for taming dinos. But a bit later, Akisa told me to come over to her since she had trapped in one of these empowered Triceratops. This one had damage increase of 4 times the normal amount and twice as much damage reduction. So all of these dinos will have some sort of a gimmick to make it even harder for us. I had been back home to grab the bison to see if I could do some sort of a damage to it. But then I had this pop-up about the doppelganger that was targeting me, so I panicked during this period, but nothing ever showed up. Targeted paper? Why is it targeting me? Where is it? Well, after a brief period, he then came running at me, shoving me up in the air, almost deleting me.
Doppelganger bison incoming!
Woo! The doppelganger had so much health as well, so this will be almost impossible to defeat. At least currently. But I had some sort of a weird bug when he flung me into the air since I was basically being elevated further and further. Wait, why am I flying still? Look at this, what's happening to my game? You see that?
Why are you floating like that?
I don't know.
Okay, hold up. You've got timers on you.
Okay, what's the timer?
Bounty Dino roaming for 600 more seconds and hunted for 240 seconds more.
Okay, so I'm not gonna have a doppelganger on me forever, so that's good to know. But since I had this weird thing going on right now, I took Akisa along with me towards the ice cave, so we could try our luck in getting some good blueprints from the cave. I didn't get anything good from these drops and I eventually fell asleep to the gravity. Okay! And back home, Akisa got me a 262 Ascendant shotgun from the cave run, so it was honestly not all bad. Alright, so the cable issue is a very big problem still, considering a lot of the dinos needing it to tame, which puts us in a tight spot. But this doppelganger thing is still very dangerous, so basically whenever we level up our characters up to a certain point, doppelgangers spawn more frequently, so we had to be careful and not power level our characters. The doppelganger only seems to spawn whenever the overlord is flying above the map. I had located an empowered raptor that I should be able to take down, so I latched myself above his head so I could try damaging him, but he vanished from my sight due to the overlord buff being gone. So I instead started constructing a little greenhouse by the cave since we would be needing the crops. But when I was out in the snow area just looking around, I came across something called a violin that I tamed up. Akisa was also discovering something brand new as well. When our pteranodons made more of themselves, they apparently become dysfunctional, so we couldn't use the females anymore to make more. There's also another thing. If you squeeze too many females with the male, the females become sad and don't want to make more dinos. But yeah. So a little bit later, I took a trip over to the castle again and I scouted a completely different dino this time. I wasn't really sure what this Alpha T-Rex was doing, but it was working excellently towards my advantage since it was somehow stuck. But after like 60 shotgun bullets, it was done. But what was the point of this since it didn't really give me anything? I just mag-dumped like 60 shotgun bullets into it and I didn't really achieve anything from it. So what we learned so far is that dinos have a limited use of how many times they can breed, so trying to squeeze everything into one particular dino for merged stats is almost impossible by the sheer amount of limitations. But anyways, this brand new day we started by cooking up a bunch of shotgun bullets in preparation for the next Overlord presence so we can get the first empowered. And as I was flying through the zones and then making it to the sand dunes, the Overlord appeared, but so did the doppelganger I've been trying to avoid. I guess I'm gonna fly around. Oh my god, it's after me. Ah! No! It did so much damage! The doppelganger will target me even if I got eaten by him the first time, so we were a little bit nervous about him appearing a second time. But Akisa wasn't being hunted and she had spotted an empowered pteranodon, so I teleported over to her to help her out. But it didn't nearly go as planned for us at all. Oh my god, there's an Allosaurus in the water. Anyways, I wanted to go to the Viking Bay to see if I had a better luck with easier dinos there until I saw something called a blood orb I wanted to check out. What's a blood orb? So today I wanted to try making myself a mind wipe to go back down a few levels to prevent that doppelganger from spawning in, since I am nowhere near ready to do anything about him. Akisa was gonna need one as well, so we both can go below level 57 for now. But after nerfing down our levels, we were far out from home trying to tame one of these dolphins because we had a plan in mind with these. So we tamed these dolphins since we were gonna move our base of operations down into the underwater cave. The area down here will possibly be better overall since we will have a little bit more space here comparatively once we block off the water. The reason wasn't only for the base expansion, it was due to the fact of this doppelganger because they really stirred us up since they will hunt you down across the map. But if you live underwater, it's gonna be way harder for it to even get down there. Well, we had now an overpowered being present, so I went over to Akisa because she had found an empowered we could try taking down. And after dumping a huge amount of lead, we didn't get anything from erasing that empowered. Well, I did get something called a genetic string, but I had no clue what it was for yet. But on my way towards an ankylo we needed for farming metal, I came across something that was more interesting to me now. There's a Rex. Oh, it's just a baby! As much as I want an ankylo, this Rex is tempting, dude. Okay, where's the Rex, baby? Here it is. Oh! So when I arrived at Ankylosaurus, I wanted to see if it had a baby for me to grab. It was surrounded by a bunch of carnivores, but they weren't aggressive for some reason. The babies you pick up does not require any hunting experience whatsoever. This mod is so confusing, dude. It's complex, confusing, all of it. For now, I was on a mission to tame up a low-level ankylo with the singular regular kibble I got from the empowered turtle, so I would be able to gather up a huge amount of metal. But during the nightfall, I tracked down a Rex with its baby that I could take, so we would be able to use them to make us an army to actually get started on the actual mod. And a little bit later, after I got the Rex baby, we were inside the wondrous ice cave that was for some reason free from all the creatures inside here. I remembered it swarming with ice death worms, but we saw nothing. Well, we couldn't even open up the red drop since we had under-leveled our characters, so this trip was kind of a bust. Akisa wanted to check out the Ice Queen despite this, so we went down the waterfall and waited for her to appear. But it didn't go nearly as predicted.
I did.
I'm teleporting home. And a bit later, the Overlord was present again, where we were fighting this empowered RG we had trapped in. took a while, but it was then done and it dropped one fragment. But it wasn't enough for the doc's table. You need 5! Oh my god. On day 20, I only flew around the map for the whole day, putting up some teleporters for us, so we could easily teleport back and forth. But once I got home, Akisa was working heavily on prepping us some Rexes. We really need to get some more Doc's fragments to even get somewhere. A little bit later, I went around the map looking for some creatures that I could eat and possibly tame. But after doing that for a bit, I got over to the castle where I found this corruption necrosis vein that got me somehow destroyed. I had this empowered Argentavis here, but I was struggling hard to just make it go bye-bye and grab its Doc's fragment. And while we were struggling to get rid of it, the Overlord dipped and slowly the Argentavis as well. Now it disappeared. But on day 22, I finally had the Rex ready that I was able to use now. The damage wasn't super great, but it was decent for now. I did see down by the tool belt that we could see what kind of Dino Paragon power I currently have and my Dino's trait power, so we can eventually make stronger ones, I believe. But for now, we might have something that can eventually take down an empowered Dino for the fragment.
Oh wow, mine has 30% damage increase.
Okay, I'm jealous. And apparently there is a chance for Dino to get a higher damage on birth, but mine came out completely fresh without any trait power. As we eat more dinos, the stronger we become, as our Paragon levels level up both damage and defense. But after eating this Bronto, I managed to get more damage and movement speed from a dino trait power. And then I got less movement speed and more damage reduction. Well, alright, so far what we learned is that dinos will have a Paragon level that we will be able to level up to level 10 in order to make them more durable and powerful. But we also have something called dino traits. The traits can be naturally earned through experience in combat, like taking damage and taking down bigger dinos like the Brontos and unlocking a higher potential or downgrading. So with these starter Rexes, we will possibly be able to take down some strong and powered dinos now. On day 23, I had finally made this modded industrial cooker so we could cook up some kibble and tame any dinos now. And a bit later, when the Overlord was roaming the map, I suddenly had a doppelganger targeting me. So I'm kinda useless now. Oh what? He summons minions? Is it just to kill me?
I think so. Go home, you got XP.
We went over to the Highlands where there was an empowered Pteranodon now instead. And he successfully eliminated me off my Rex. But for now, we were finally able to make the Doc's crafting table. It has taken us many freaking days just to make it, and we are finally there. I just had to unlock some engrams in my brain first to allow me to see the crafting engrams. We had to solve this issue with us losing XP whenever we get eliminated, so we made something called the Doc's Hunting Experience Storage Orb to preserve our experience so we don't lose it left and right. But on day 24, I came across a certain dino that was offering me extra experience and loot, which are pretty rare considering it's my first one. I got my hands on some dino experience and a few fragments, so I wasn't really sure how these Rexes would hold up against other creatures later on, but it was time to get our hands on some more higher level Rexes. We had stored up a little bit of experience for this and hopefully it's enough. We were trying to lock him in between some gates, but we somehow distracted a mega mammoth towards us. Nah! And he destroyed all of the gates Akisa put up. Oh my lord. Akisa, run! Run!
Running my XP!
And to tame them, we apparently just have to drop a little bit of kibble on its feet to tame it. Oh, he's using like 1000 XP every feed, by the way.
Nice. Okay, pick him up. Let's go home.
On day 25, we were going over the traits on our Rexes to make them stronger. We wanted to understand the difference between all of these traits in the game, especially since my Rex had achieved a unique status. To make it evolve into stronger dino, it had to achieve a unique alpha status, which I've done, and now we pretty much need to be able to eliminate a prime dino to get a prime genetic string to evolve it into prime Rex. This whole thing overloaded my brain, so I went to farm some metal to calm my temperature level IQ. A bit later, I was checking the progression of my newly Alpha Rex that was growing up. I felt like it was kinda pointless using that low-level unique Alpha Rex I had before and might be better working on a higher level one. A bit later, we were taking out some Brontos to see if we could get our hands on some good experience and loot, and we had this Mega Bronto I was giving a shot at, but my weapon didn't do any damage at all to it. Wow. So thanks to its insane multipliers for damage and such, my damage with my weapon barely existed. And after I attacked it, the dino had a deep grudge towards me now. But back home, I quickly picked up my newly growed up Rex so I could level it up later. And for now, we shifted our focus towards this prime Triceratops with our old Rexes. This wasn't too bad, but we were handling it. But that was a very close one, and we eventually eliminated our first prime dino. He gave me some mysterious potions, but sadly no prime string to evolve our dino. On day 27, I had found my first pygmy that I could tame, so I had brought my pygmy kibble we had in our fridge to start feeding it. But it eats immediately from your tool belt in the zero slot. But 2 pieces of pygmy kibble wasn't enough apparently. I wasn't able to make any pygmy kibble either, so I had to go out and tame a couple of alpha dodos. So, to make the pygmy kibble, I had to get my hands on some fertilized alpha dodo eggs, so all I had to do was just wait now for a couple of eggs. Our rates for the server are pretty fast, so this shouldn't take too long. Throughout the rest of the day, I took down most things I was able to fight with my new Alpha Rex so I could level him up a little bit more for the preparation of evolving it to Prime Tier. But now, I was able to make the pygmy kibble, but was only able to craft 1, which gave me 5 pieces. I noticed that this one didn't require any experience, however, so that's good.
Oh, it ate 2. Oh, it says up there on the top. Failed.
Ow! Oh my god.
It's running. Please, please, please. Oh, tamed.
The pygmy also gives some stats, so it's like carrying a second dino on you. Anyways, a bit later I went out to level up my Rex a little bit more when I got rid of a corrupted trike that apparently summoned a tumor on the ground.
What is that?
I got scared and I immediately left. But the next night, I had tracked down a couple of pygmies here where I managed to get the Prime Pteranodon pygmy tamed. I was pretty happy that the Ark 2 didn't have those stupid King Kongs spawning on you whenever you fail a pygmy tame. That was brutal in the old one. So for now, I decided to go up against the Prime Bison I carefully kited so I didn't take any hits. He hit pretty hard, but I managed to delete him. But from that Bison, I managed to get my hands on the Prime genetic string now. I just had to feed the string to my Rex, and now it's a Prime Rex. Anyways, on the night shift, Ikisa took me to the new base area she was preparing for us so we could stay safer from doppelgangers. This new place was way more spacious than the old one, and this will leave a lot of room for making more dinos. So a little bit later, Ikisa wanted me to go through these Alpha Rexes and name them for their damage and damage reduction. We just needed to sort them out since we had so many of them. And after sorting them out, I still needed to level up my Rex with its Paragon level, so I went out to eliminate a lot of these dinos. We weren't really doing anything special at the moment. Ikisa got her new Rex ready and needed to level its Paragon level. We were kinda hoping the Overlord would spawn in to get some more levels faster, but he didn't. But on day 32, Ikisa and I wanted to attempt going up against the juiced up corrupted Prime Triceratops. These are extra juicy considering they are corrupted and deal way more damage than the normal primes. He did a lot of damage and didn't give us anything for that attempt. Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, we had decided to try out something different today, and that was the lava cave on Ragnarok. We wanted to try our luck and get us some cool blueprints and such, but was met with the mega nameless by the entrance immediately. But after avoiding him and running through the first few creatures, I managed to get insta-knocked out. What? I fell asleep. A snake knocks me out instantly. What is glowing over there?
I'm sure something that's waiting to kill us. What do you mean this cave has a death worm?
We can't go in there. We're gonna have to skip it.
Let's just go a different way.
What do you mean different way? Literally destroyed my whole armor. Ikisa was insistent about us trying again, but as soon as we made it to the lights, we barely made it past the lava. Oh, death worm!
There's a death worm in the lava.
We're not getting in there. I'm not doing this again.
Yeah, we're not getting either. Death worm in the lava is where I drew the line.
On day 34, we had an alpha bounty spawning on the map. Bounty Alpha Brontosaurus. Should we go after that? 3068.
Yes, I think we should.
It was held up by the snow zone with 85,000 health and 160 times damage increase. But as soon as I saw that 10k damage hit, we ran away. We decided to try going for this high-level Alpha Fire Dragon instead, but this seemed a little bit more complicated considering it was a nesting parent. And if I want my own Fire Dragon, I have to defeat him and steal the egg, but we didn't really see it down there. Where is it? We also had a little bit of an annoying issue with the Rexes lately that we found out about. When you apparently make them into Prime or whatever from a unique Alpha, they will no longer passively heal inside the Dino Ball, which will make our progression a lot slower. But Akisa had a solution for this considering we couldn't make any health potions yet since it was unbelievably expensive. Despite being a little disappointed with the healing of the dinos and dogs, I couldn't let that stop my progression and I continued on by making the chem bench cause we'll eventually need it. So I then went outside to scout for more dinos where I saw this 50,000 HP bison that would be impossible to take down right now. But I did see some pygmies, so I quickly went home to make some kibble so I could snag them. And after I got the pygmies, I got suddenly attacked by a prime pteranodon out of nowhere, but I tried escaping. No! I managed to get back to the spot where I got succumbed by the pteranodon since I was after this alpha baby Argentavis so we could eventually get some kibble made. What? Wait, what happened to the baby? It just disappeared. But then I got suddenly ambushed by an Empower that was able to damage me off my Rex, but I somehow made it. And when I was getting closer to the Argentavis, I was a little bit surprised.
It has no taming for 2 minutes because it ate something.
So in the meantime, I was home making some mind-wide potions so I can make some better armor for both of us, and a new long neck rifle as well in case we need it. But when I went back to the Argy to tame it, he was being very aggressive until I got a piece of kibble. Yes! The traits we got in the Argy was complete trash. Fragile, weak. Oh my lord. The next day, my misfortune continued since I was tracking this baby Alpha Argy that suddenly disappeared. I would just have to settle for low-level male for now, but we will eventually get some better ones in due time. We practically needed a better flyer we could use cause these pteranodons were weak as heck. Here we go, Argy. Eat. Wait, I'm taming an Ankylosaurus as well. Oh, my XP is getting depleted. Oh my god, it's taming everything! My XP! Oh, it tamed something. I don't know what it's taming. It's taming everything. Now, when one of the Alpha Argys was done, I took it out for a spin to try it out, which had some unreliable stats that probably won't be on my team for a very long time. Akisa wanted to also show me how laggy her game became with the better bodies highlighting the boxes. You have 10 FPS.
Yeah, I think I need to stop streaming.
Holy shit, your game is so laggy. But while we were home sorting out some stuff and such, Akisa suddenly got targeted by seekers that triggered some of the Rexes, but we couldn't see any spawning in the base. So a bit later I went out scouting again for dinos where I saw this Alpha Manticore. That would be amazing to have right now, but to be able to get one I will have to get rid of the parent, snatch the egg and get the genetic string just to be able to ride it. It's a lot of work just to be able to use it. I wanted to try out something where I sent in the Argy to attack the Manticore so I could see if it was possible to snag the egg if it was gone from the nest. No, you can't! You actually have to get rid of the parent. What are you looking at?
What are you looking at? Did you just knock out pudding?
No. A bit later, I was out looking for a Giga to possibly tame it, but I wasn't sure how much XP I was gonna need for taming it. I went over to Kisa instead because she was hogging all of the XP orbs so we could tame this male Giga. The stats weren't all bad and came out as 52 melee. It got balanced and unique wild runner. And after getting through with the Giga, my quest for better RG continued, and I had started naming them by their damage now to make it easier to sort. Akisa was busy with something, so I went to level up my Rex Paragon level a bit while I was waiting. But as soon as she was ready, we were gonna try getting rid of this unique Alpha Manticore that had a nest with an egg. It was only 15,000 health, so this was expected to be a breeze. But we got dismantled quickly. Yeah, I'm gone. And once we were home again, Seekers targeted Akisa, and this time they showed up. It was only Kentru that spawned in the water, but he couldn't get to our dinos luckily. And we didn't really get anything special from it either. But now it was time to try attempting the Manticore again, where I had prepped all of these RGs to fight him. It didn't seem to be going to plan at all, and they eventually flew away. The nest wasn't around anymore either, so there was no hope. So today, when the Overlord was present, I went out with my Beak to eliminate a couple of Empowered to level up my RG and gather up some hunting experience. But when I went up against this Empowered Bronto, Akisa got targeted again by the Seekers, so we shifted our focus on them. They all eventually went out, and as the Bronto fell as well, he spawned in a corrupted counterpart, which then spawned a tumor. I have no clue what it does yet so far. But after fighting all of these, the most important thing we got was this enhanced armor that gives us a lot of random stats to our characters and dinos. Oh, look what I have! An all-stormer! And then some corruption crystals and a corrupt genetic string. So fighting the Seekers is extremely beneficial to us right now. For now, it was time to go back into farming experience. We needed just a tad bit more so we can get our second Giga tamed. And after doing that, we have now saved up like 30,000 of experience in total, and hopefully it will be enough for us to get the Giga now. On this very new day, I had picked up an extraction dart we had by our base to use on this knocked out unique Giga that gave me some wild traits that we can use to apply to any tamed creature we have to make them more powerful later on. But moments later, it was time to get another Giga. The strat was to stay up here in the sky and just drop pieces of kibble packages for him to eat. And with every feed, it eats about 2500 experience, so this won't pose a problem for us at all. But now we got the Giga tamed and brought it back home to make some more. This whole process will take an eternity as well. And sometimes getting rid of the Seeker dinos, it has a chance to drop this extraction dart. And right now this is the only way we can get them, since they cost a bunch to make and we don't have enough for it. These darts only work on wild dinos too, and not tamed. We have to use a different kind of thing for that purpose, where it requires mega strings to even make it. But after a bit, the Giga was already sterile, so it could no longer pump out any more alpha Gigas. So I decided to give it a spin for now to see how good it was. The damage it did was pretty bad, but I was hoping it would improve. I discovered that the Giga Orb was able to ground dinos and intimidate them, making them do 15% less damage. But you can't spam the roar since the dinos will have a grounded cooldown. And while I was just messing about with some gates, I suddenly had a Seeker attacking me, breaking half of my armor. We only saw the Griffin in the area and there was no other Seekers around that I could see, but we gang up against it and it was so easy. And a bit later we spotted this tier 3 Mega Phiomia to fight, which was corrupted on top of it. The damage I did was shit, and it did like 2k per hit to Kisa, so she teleported away. And a bit later, our very first golden dodo spawned in on a map, so we decided to head towards it as fast as possible. But when we arrived, we couldn't find a golden dodo. It was just a bunch of empowered creatures all around us that we had to deal with. It turned so bad that my Giga almost perished as well, so we had to tackle the golden dodo another day. The next day, we went through the Dark Sphinx, where we noticed that these Dark crystals are capable of giving us more damage to our dinos, damage reduction and passive healing. But we are so off for making any of these now, since they all require a lot of different strings and these crystals. We will eventually want to make all of these crystals. And now it was time to test giving some of the traits to this pygmy to make it even stronger. He already had a wild trait brawler, a V-balanced and a unique wild balanced. I will explain these traits later, but right now I gave it the two ones I had from the unique Giga and I made it tougher and stronger. So now it's capable of giving me 52% damage and 27% damage reduction to me and my tames I ride, plus with the negative wheelchair speed as well. But a bit later, when I was out flying around, I was getting targeted by a seeker, so I swiftly teleported back home so I could grab my Giga. And after handling the Parasaur, I went home to grab my other newly growed up Giga with no negative stats to level it up. Alright, after taking care of those peasants, I can now safely explain this trait system. In our play session, there are 8 or 9 different kind of traits we can have on our dinos to make them stronger. It may change during later updates, I don't know. But I have a picture from the document here where we will have a bunch of traits. And these traits can all be extracted from wild and tame dinos. But anyways, as we can see, we have 3 wild traits that can all be different. 3 naturally earned ones that you can get from like combat experience. 8 traits are so-called artificial and will be random by giving it a genetic or a superior string, and once you apply 3 of those before anything else, I believe you lock yourself out of applying more traits, so that is something you place on the dino last. UV traits is just a unique wild trait, where unique traits will be the most powerful. U for unique, P for primed trait, M for mega trait, and GR for greater and corrupted for something. I am just overwhelmed thinking about it, but you can basically build your own powerful mega dino as long as you got all the traits stored up. And as I was stumbling about in the redwoods, I came across this V Alpha Carno. Fight! Now, I've seen a lot of these all over the place, but I can't quite put my finger on what these are for. What did it give me? Nothing! What is the point of that one? But after dealing with it, I went further uphill where I came across a shiny dino. Oh, it's a shiny! I don't know how to tame it.
Knock it out?
No, it says passive. Wait, you just want meat? Do I have meat? Let's try. Oh, it's not passive. It's a lie. Giga killed it. Great. I didn't really do too much other than just stomping around in the snow mountains, freezing my balls off. So I decided to go back to my precious highlands where I saw something in the distance. Oh, it's a big egg! Ikisa, look at my stream! What is that? There is a big egg over there. Do you see it?
Egg. There's an egg.
What is that?
I love egg. You touch egg. Love egg. Collect egg. Take egg with you.
What is that?
I have no idea.
I don't know either. I'm scared. Oh, it spawned a doppelganger. No! It's a Giga!
Oh my goodness. Do you think you can take it?
No. Alright boys, I have now managed to get my Giga to unique alpha level, so it was time to upgrade him to a prime.
Alright, which stat did I get? Unique Juggernaut and you got prime balance. That's pretty good.
72% damage! And while I was just testing out my new Giga with my high damage, Akisa teleported over and surprised the heck out of me with her Giga. Ah! Wait, what is that Giga?
It's me. I'm Chompy.
But have you seen my name?
What? What do you mean you named yours Chompy?
Yeah, I named my Chompy before yours.
What?
Yeah, it's been Chompy for a while, Akisa. But the next day, I went over to the Wyvern Bay to see if I could spot any Wyverns to possibly snatch and replace the flyer I have. But I think I flew a little bit too close to the Titan Dodorex or the Mega Wyvern. At least my pygmy survived that. Akisa wanted to come with me to the Wyvern Trench to scout for any nests, but I made a quick stop to tame up this Pyromane pygmy first. And after I was done with that, I was gonna go after this poison Wyvern that had a stroke, but there was a complication. What? It barely took any damage, but its poison attack did like 4,000 damage to my Giga, so I ran back to the fort. And after I healed up my Giga, I went out again and fought this V Alpha Rex, bringing my Giga Paragon's level to level 7. So now I'm pretty much ready to upgrade my Giga to Mega, except we need to take one down first. But as I was out in the snow zone just eliminating everything, I ran into this empowered Uber with a multiplier of 160 times more damage. It damaged my Giga so badly that I had to go back home and heal it again. But today, when I was just outside trying to tame a pygmy, Akisa got targeted by seekers in the base where it was attacking all of our tames. As much as I like the base, it's a little bit annoying when they spawn underneath the base and attack our tames from below the platforms. Akisa was gonna try coming up with a solution for that, so I went out to continue taming this prime pygmy pteranodon. But after a little while of struggle, it was finally tamed. The stats weren't super impressive since it reduced my damage reduction by like 17%. On day 48, we had another seeker spawning in the base again that we had to deal with. It hadn't even been 30 minutes and it already had spawned. And a bit later, I went out again in search of a dinos that I could take down, but I ran into this fella instead. A corrupt prime Phiomia.
Wait, what is that? 5k HP? I can take that, right? Oh yeah, this is no sweat. I got this. Easy. Did it give me anything cool?
Element chart 2. Seriously? That's it? I continued towards the north, where I fought this prime alpha doed. It wasn't bad at all. Akisa's Giga could handle it well. I was just trying to level up Akisa's Giga to unique alpha so she could evolve it into prime so we could go up against our first mega together. But while I was out just checking the areas, I stumbled upon this pygmy alpha I tamed up. I didn't really do too much other than just going out and trying out this extraction dart. I just had to trap the Diplo in, knock it out and use the extraction dart. But weirdly enough, I didn't get anything. But on day 50, I was ready to attempt my first mega. I had prepared with a few of these potions that gives me damage increase and damage reduction to help me out.
Oh, this is doable. This is 100% doable.
And that's the first mega.
Oh, what is this?
Blueprint enhanced ride.
Oh, it looks so cheap.
It gives a 528 enhanced armor. Oh my god. That is amazing. But after scouting around the whole map for tames and circling all the way back to the highlands, I saw this alpha griffin that would be really cool to get. But in order to be able to use him, I would need a fertilized dragon, manticore, wyvern or a rock drake egg. We had neither of that. Into the night, we fought these empowered uber dinos with our gigas, but we kept our distance as best as we could. Since these empowered dinos were doing so much damage, like look at this Bronto just stomping, doing 4,000 to me. I had this corrupted Megatrike in front of me and I was gonna try leading it to the water so I could try defeating it.
Oh, no! 8,000!
I don't think I'm ready for that level of creature yet. But a bit later, I was gonna go for this golden dodo when a doppelganger came to attack me out of the blue. Akisa tried to roar it for me, but the minions it summoned was shredding her Giga.
Oh, listen, I am literally running. I may not make it. Woo, I made it.
But way later, I was by the golden dodo again. So far as I know, when you attack the dodo, you will have like a few seconds before it despawns, so we just have to nuke it down.
Oh, okay, that was easy.
It was easier than I thought, and we got another enhanced armor piece. And a little bit later, I found myself deep in the snowy mountains where I was fighting this corrupt prime mammoth in a DPS race. But as soon as he was defeated, something else spawned in.
Oh, what is that? Incubating queen egg. Oh, I can't do any damage to it. I'm running.
Yeah. Oh, I bet that is the Mega broodmother. I bet that's where she pops out of now.
Yeah, you're right. Legacy Mega Alpha. That's it. That's a broodmother right there. Oh my god, they're following me. I'm leaving.
But getting rid of the corrupt prime gave me a few cool new things like the crystals and a few genetic strings. And today we were gonna use some of this pygmy Evo kibble that transforms a tame into random variant pygmy. I got pretty lucky and it ended up being a mega pygmy. The stats were pretty good since it got a hold of 2 juggernaut stats. So we will hold off on it for now until we really need this pygmy. On day 53, I had located a wyvern nest, so me and Akisa went to fight this group of wyverns that was a little bit challenging for my Giga. But we got a hold of an ice wyvern egg now. I wasn't eager to hatch it yet, so I put it in the hatchery for now until I'm ready to crack it open. Or Akisa. So a little bit later, I was out again hunting for these alpha Brontos with a better chance of getting genetic traits.
Oh, we got one trait.
Oh, we got more. We got the brawler and the strings. Okay, so how it worked from what we understood is that you have a bigger chance of getting different types of random traits with extraction dart from dinos with a high drag weight, like the Brontos, Gigas and so on. And I was aiming to go for every Alpha Bronto for now. On my second Alpha Bronto I managed to get 2 traits, so it's very possible to get more than just 1 trait from extracting from the Brontos. As I was going for my third one into day 54, I suddenly had Seekers again coming for me. Oh no, so I switched to my Giga to deal with them. The Giga sustained a little bit of damage, so I quickly went back home to heal my Giga right back up, to then return and fight this Mega RG, which was a tier 4 Mega with a buff called Possession. I got a second Mega string from the RG, but it was somehow back again. But when we got to defeat it, a Seeker Giga suddenly spawned in and it hit us extremely hard, so we escaped into the ocean. And then it was back to farming more genetic traits. I was done farming traits for now to mess around with my new set bonus for my armor, so in case I was out taking care of the trait extracting instead. I couldn't decide what I wanted for armor, but I was looking for something in between damage and damage reduction. I didn't have the full sets of each armor type, so mixing was the only option now. But on day 55, we were going over the traits for my Dino, where it had one negative one called Fragile, which gave it like minus 15% damage reduction. And for me to make a super powerful Giga, I couldn't have any negative stats in my trait system, so I was gonna use this cleanser to raise those vulnerabilities, but I wasn't able to do that since it was a prime Giga. So I had to start leveling up a new Alpha Giga to prep it for the new traits again. Akisa's Giga didn't have any vulnerabilities like my Giga, so it was time to level up hers to a Mega. It ended up getting the Mega trait Runner, which has the passive perk of 25% chance to mitigate all of the incoming damage from dinos she fights. It's pretty much the best trait for Mega. Anyways, it was now time to make the new Darksterion Crystal. We had enough resources, so we made one for me. It gives my dinos 15% damage reduction, 20% damage and 20 health per second. So I went out to level my new Giga to jump down everything. I had to level up my Giga to 7 or 8 Paragon again so I could make it into Prime and eventually a Mega. Day 57 wasn't that different to the last day since I was just still stomping around leveling up this Giga. But I switched to level up another Giga just in case this one would get better natural stats than the other one. And on day 58, it was time to give it a prime string where it got the balance trait, which gives it about 20% damage and 5% movement speed. A better stat would be Juggernaut, but this is good. We also gave my Giga a corrupt string too, which can get movement speed, damage reduction or damage at values from 0 to 25. He managed to get 15 movement speed, which I was okay with. I was hoping for damage or damage reduction, but this is okay. But for now, I went out to still level up my Giga's Paragon. We needed to work on getting a gem for Akisa as well, so we need more of those corrupt crystals too. But today, it was now time to make it into a Mega. It ended up with 85,000 health and the Mega trait Runner, so I can get the elusive ability. Now when it was done, it was time to get back into farming more genetic traits from these Brontos. But when I was on my way towards another one, I got attacked by a Vyron from behind. What? I got back on another RG and I went for this Bronto, ending the day there. And on the next day, I was back home turning one of the sucky Gigas into a Pygmy. I figured I could try utilizing the Giga's Roar when I am hard stuck in combat and let the Pygmy deal with that part. Akisa wanted to show me that we could sacrifice the Pygmies to get a genetic string by giving it the CC crystal and then punching it. Wait, why can't you put the saddle on a Giga? I don't understand that. Oh my god, I'm fearing for the worst. Please, don't tell me you can ride this Pygmy. Oh my god. I was actually panicking. I thought we could ride this. Because it has a little saddle. Look at this. But now it's time to make the next Dark's Corruption Crystal to get even more damage, damage reduction and health regen. It was for Akisa to use because she didn't have one. The next day we installed some sort of a chibi mod to give us chibis from all the expansions and such to check out. They were pretty cool, especially the Lost Colony one.
I think I'll be keeping this one.
Okay, now for the real question. We previously did vanilla maps on Ark before we got busy with the modded on Ascended. Is this something you guys still wanna see that we continue on? We'll probably abandon the 1000 days plan and just do a fresh 100 days each expansion and maps instead to get the full experience. But drop down a comment if you guys would like any of that and maybe some Ark Ascended modded IDs. Anyways, we had another golden dodo on the map, so I was on my way towards it until I spotted a Bounty Legacy Alpha broodmother. What is that?
Oh, that's a legacy alpha broodmother.
Yeah, and it's corrupted. I don't know, like, would we be able to take this on?
No.
I guess I didn't feel like it was a good idea, so I continued flying towards the dodo. But then Akisa got targeted by a doppelganger when she was riding her Velonosaur, so we teleported there on our Gigas and wrecked it cause it did like no damage at all.
Oh my god, there's a necrosis vein over there. Be careful, don't go over there. Let me see what we got. Enhanced flak leggings, corrupt. Oh, we got 4 genetic strings. Mega genetic. Legacy. Oh my god, look at the stuff I got.
But that's the strat. Whenever he's passing over, go out on something that needs to be leveled and then swap to something stronger.
Anyways, I went back to the golden dodo task and I managed to only get an enhanced piece and a shotgun. Pretty mid considering the dodo spawns like every 6 to 12 hours or something. But now, I was able to make the Dox Corruption Crystal for myself, giving me and my tames even more power. Day 62 wasn't that special of a day. Akisa wanted to give her Velonosaur a try and it did pretty okay damage to the dinos. But we did notice something about them where their damage didn't go up from traits at all. Only the damage from the points you put into the creature.
So maybe the damage increase, you only get it from points that you put into the creature. Maybe this doesn't get the damage increase from like the traits.
That is so bad. That is so ass. On the day shift, I started the day by farming a bit of resources in the cave since I was obsessed with having a good amount of stuff. And a bit later, I saw this so-called Legacy Alpha Hellhorse. I wasn't sure what it could do, but I tried taming it by throwing some kibble at it, but nothing was happening. Then a bit later, Akisa wanted some help trying to tame a Legacy Alpha Compy where you have to damage it down to a certain percentage before it starts eating kibble so you can tame it. We were unfortunate when it meshed into a small little hole and we were unable to damage it. And at the end of the day, we tried going for a second one, but Akisa managed to eat it.
Oh, you killed it.
Oh.
Day 64 started with collecting some traits from these Brontos. But before I went for a second one, Akisa wanted to attempt fighting a tier 5 Megatrike.
Oh, I lost control.
It was easily dealt with when we were double teaming on it. Well done, it was back to farming these Brontos again. 30 minutes later, I had spotted an Alpha Manticore with the nest that I wanted. I just had to get rid of the parent, which was a piece of cake. I even got the string, so I will be able to use this Manticore as well. But a bit later into the day, I had located another Bounty Alpha Spino to fight that didn't seem too bad considering its HP. But when I was about to hit it pretty hard with my Giga, something happened.
Are you kidding me?
So for some reason, the dinos can still get you off your tames, which is really annoying. Day 66, we went up against this possessed Mega Thorny in hopes of more CC crystals. But as soon as we were wrecking this guy's stay, something else dropped by.
Oh, it spawned a corrupt. I don't know if it... Oh, it says the normal corrupt, isn't it? Oh, no, it's not. It's a possessed... Oh, what is that? Oh, it's an Alpha Giga.
What the hell of it?
I'm nuking it.
Oh, he actually does pack a punch, though.
Yeah, I'm nuking it.
Ooh. Oh, that was scary.
That was really scary. And for some reason, when we were playing on this next day, Ark made an update where the glider suits were buggy as heck, preventing me from flying. I even tried making a new glider suit and re-equipping my armor and such, but it had no effect. The only solution was to sacrifice myself to the Ark gods. Well, today I didn't really do anything special besides walking around chomping at everything I could get my teeth into. But later into day 68, I was gonna see if I could try knocking out this legacy compy by staying a little bit elevated. But he was able to jump and eat me. It's up my butt. Ow! My tranks didn't seem to do anything, so I decided to just jump up on my Giga and try taming it like this. Weak and tameable. I wanted to eat the kibble. I dropped it. But when I was gonna check if the kibble was still next to it on the ground, it attacked me and the Giga ate it. And now we're back in the desert trying to get one. It was actually working now. Okay, we got one legacy compy. Let's go for the next one. The second one wasn't difficult at all, and we captured it without any problems. And by the end of the day, I went for an Alpha Bronto so I could get some more traits. On day 69, when I was out just farming levels for my Giga, a stupid doppelganger spawned in like usual and almost got my Giga pinned down in a very bad position. We were however gonna try defeating this doppelganger by using the mountain to our advantage. It was working okay until it started summoning in minions and my character went missing. Oh no! Where am I?
You're up at the sky with the Desmondus.
Am I? This is working. This is working. Oh, I lost control. Oh no! Well, there goes me. The Giga found a way up here, so we kinda had to try abandon this as it was becoming more dangerous. Oh my god, I'm picked up again. Like there was just an absurd amount of minions.
Crazy.
Oh, I'm so dead. I'm so dead! Ah! Oh! But on day 70, we had discovered a new string we could make called the Overcharge string. This overcharge ability is what we really needed, I think, since it just gave me 133% damage increase and 20% damage reduction. We did try taking down this crap mega thorny, but our damage was like shit. But after fighting this guy for like 5 minutes, he was finally defeated. Oh, give us stuff!
Oh my god. Not even worth just saying.
What did we get?
Corruption crystal.
That's it.
And some strings. We got a mega genetic string, but...
What are we even gonna do with that? Get more pygmies? We need legacy strings.
But today, I wanted to give this egg a chance to see what the hype was all about. And just because I got distracted by something else, I didn't pay attention to it hatching. The egg hatched! My Velonosaur! I went back to doing what I know works, farming peasant dinos for the trades. By day 72, we had been working on pygmies where I had a Giga now with 72% damage by adding traits to it. So now the damage on my Giga was exceptionally powerful when fighting normal dinos. Primes wasn't that much of a difference from before, but I tried avoiding his stone throw as best as I could.
Oh, it hits for 8,000. Seekers! Seekers! Now when I have a prime! Oh, 20,000!
And when I was out just munching around on dinos, I ran into a very interesting shiny dino in the area.
What is this? I think I found a Christmas carno or something. Oh, it was... Oh, I got a tech replicator.
Anyways, after continuing roaming around, the Overlord showed up again with his bestie, the Doppelganger. But this time, I had a plan. I was punching my Giga in preparation when I teleported him away to activate his overcharge to power him up, and then to teleport back to beat his Doppelganger into submission.
What is that?
But it was getting too close to comfort. My Giga was losing health way faster than the Doppelganger.
Okay, I almost had it though. But with the Kisa's help, I'll definitely have it next time.
Like, we still don't get it sometimes when fighting these dinos. Sometimes we feel like we can fight these and sometimes not.
Why are we doing 5 damage to it?
But for day 74, I was just doing my share of farming these Brontos. There was nothing special to this day at all, I just needed the traits. Akisa had worked on her Pygmy Giga that almost had 100% damage in his power, and it was pretty ridiculous. But now, I was gonna put some greater genetic strings on my Giga where I could put 3 greater on it while Akisa was only able to put 2 for some reason. So, it's apparently a low chance that you will be able to put 3 greater on it from what we figured out. We did some extensive testing and this is what we think at least. Oh my god, what is that big worm there? Christ, that was a big death worm. So Akisa came over to the rescue to fight it with me, which was a piece of cake. I got a lot of things. But before we were gonna open the loot, there was a golden mega pack nearby that we were gonna fight. We just had to punch our Gigas first in order to overcharge our Gigas. But I managed to get a lot of different kind of loot, even a so-called Warlord Crystal Shard. This is the one we need to make the last damaged crystal we use for our characters. Now that we're a third over the way through the 100 days, let's go over the goals we still have left to accomplish. We still haven't been able to defeat the Doppelganger at the same level as our Gigas, which is our strongest tames currently. So that's going to be one of our final goals for this video, along with taking down a Primordial. The Primordial are the world bosses in this mod and they are considered the current endgame boss. Anyways, by day 76, we took down another Mega that gave me some of these Warlord crystals. We were getting closer and closer for making that crystal. But now it was time to open up the Legacy Dino loot we got. I got a Legacy Deathworm Horn that was a consumable and a few strings from it. And back home we can now use these Legacy Alpha Compis to sacrifice them into an item by shoving these 2 things into its inventory. What? I didn't get anything. Check your inventory. Did you get anything?
Random tamed high tier alpha legacy dino.
What is it? What level is it? 150 to 265. Okay, should we do it?
Yeah.
Getting me? What is this?
It's paralyzed and weak. Can we get a refund?
Let's do the auto compy.
Okay, I want to open this one. You have bad luck.
Okay, so we are not sure what these legacy dinos are really for yet, but we know they are somewhat harder to obtain than regular alphas.
Oh, it's a monkey.
And after dealing with the Seekers, we went out to see how Akisa's monkey was handling the wild dinos. The damage was pretty impressive since this monkey was just a regular alpha dino, but a legacy variant. We did find out that almost every legacy dino has their own little abilities they can use to take down dinos, but that's about it. A little bit later, we were in the highlands trying to take out the golden megatrike in the pond when I suddenly got targeted by a doppelganger. Oh, it's targeting me. Bad timing for it. Get out of there. Teleport out, Kida. I think I got him though.
Did you?
No, he has half HP. I think I will take him down. Maybe, maybe not. He's 7k health. Oh, I really need to teleport out of here. When I really thought I could take him down, my Giga was getting way too low on HP for comfort, so I escaped. If I had a Kisa there, then maybe I would have been able to take it down. But after we had healed up and went to the area to look for the doppelganger, we couldn't see him at all. I figured he would have been running towards me this whole time, and I was right, since I saw the golden trike and the doppelganger swimming in the ocean towards our base. I'm saving my potions for doppelganger. That's coming right now. Okay, I'm using all my potions. But when we tried fighting these, it was just too chaotic, so we skedaddled out of there. If we only fought the trike or even the doppelganger, this would have worked. But on day 78, it was finally time. This time, both on the golden trike and the doppelganger was hanging out in the water, and we had our Gigas at max health. And with us fighting the doppelganger together, we accomplished one of our final goals by taking down this guy. Nice. But anyways, time to take down the golden mega. And as soon as we took it down, a possessed megatrike showed up and summoned a friend to assist him.
Run.
What? Oh my god, did it really spawn that?
Yep.
And every time one of these spawns in, they always mess us up. How much did he do to you? 1,000? Okay, that's way more than that. Oh my god. Then a little bit later, I went to gather up the Brontos as usual for some more trades. We just wanted to have an excessive amount of trades, because the pace we're going at and the dinos we're fighting was gonna be devastating. By day 80, it was time to give my Giga the last trades I could give it. The damage ended up being 123% damage and 74% defense. But straight afterwards, I hatched the lightning manticore we had obtained and it was pretty cool. It's just too bad it wasn't a high level, but a bit later, I had located the golden mega RG that I was gonna fight. I had prepared with a few potions to go along with the fight and I punched my Giga to overcharge him. I know we get a lot of different types of debuffs when fighting these dinos, but this is such a hard thing to keep track of, especially what everything does. On day 81, I was out just fighting this corrupt Megathyla with my Giga, which was a piece of cake. We were, however, on our way to fight the Legacy Alpha Death Worm to collect some more tokens from it. Here's something. Like, this is kind of what I mean. Some dinos are just too hard to understand, which are like super powerful or not. But he was hitting a Kisa's Giga for like 10,000 per hit.
Oh my lord. Look where it spawned up there. A Seeker. Wait, let me use a potion. Use your potion so you have some. Yeah, I'm going in. That was a lot of damage. Okay, that's not funny. Oh, he's one bite away. Okay, we're good now, right?
The next day, I had made a summoning shrine where you can store all of the hunting experience among other things like boosting the difficulty, summoning titan bosses and such. But what we were really interested in was the reroll function for the armor where you can place some trash pieces to make them better at the cost of element shards and hunting experience. We were able to make some shards in the fabricator for some reason. I think it was due to the mods we were using. Anyways, all we really wanted was just some better RNG for the stat increase. And a bit of a boost we can get our hands on when fighting these dinos is gonna be crucial. But now, my Manticore is all grown up, but I couldn't ride it yet. I needed to give it the Manticore genetic string to get a permanent bonding, and now it works. This Manticore is, however, insanely weak and has barely any stamina. Day 83, we were on the hunt again for this Legacy Death Worm, and then a Golden Mega Fazulo. But after getting rid of the Golden Fazulo, my Giga has now achieved the Paragon 10, giving it a Warlord buff. The Warlord buff gives my Dino a 5% damage increase on top of the Paragon perks, with the addition to spawn in a Champion Mega Dino.
Kingslayer chance for Champion Mega to spawn after Mega has been slain.
Oh! I went over to the summoning shrine afterwards to reroll some of my pieces since I needed a little bit of more damage and defense. But right now, I had a mission and that was to tame all of those legacy compus on the screen. I think we still could get a lot stronger dinos other than the Giga, and to figure that shit out, we needed more legacy dinos. Oh my... Oh, it still does too much damage sometimes. You see that?
Yikes.
I switched out my old Prime Alpha Rex, which kinda felt like an awful idea considering how much the comp did to my HP. But it was working a lot better now with the Rex.
Oh, no!
Just a few more compis and I think we should be good. And now it was time to turn them into items in hopes of getting a really cool legacy tame. First one we got was a legacy Dimorphodon. Oh, I got a legacy bear and an Argentavis along with the second raptor. But after a little bit of loot box opening, we went out together so I could try taming this legacy alpha Hellhorse. The Hellhorse was able to summon Deathworms to fight for him and shoot out fireballs. And after a little while, it was tamed. I couldn't summon the Deathworms because I needed the horn, but I was able to send in my Hellfire ability. Anyways, after testing it out for a little bit, we went to see if we could try capturing a Legacy Alpha Dodorex, but my Giga one-shot it instead.
How'd that feel?
I'm sad now. And since I had my Hellhorse now, I just needed to build it with the traits we had stored up. I used the Doc's calculator as well to see how much damage I would be able to squeeze out of the traits. I didn't give it all of the traits we had since I wanted to just see first how much damage the ability would do.
2000, that's it?
I wasn't impressed by its damage honestly, so I guess I'm going back to the Giga. I gave the Raptor a spin and he could summon exploding fireballs.
Oh, what? What is that?
Unique Lumantria. Okay, hello. Oh, okay. And you can like spam this too.
10,000 damage. Wait, pack leader? LOL. Do you see that? Hey, Kisa, if you have 2 of them, you get pack leader buff. Look at the damage. You get 25 damage reduction and 50 damage. I gave them a few traits to power them just up a little bit. I was curious to see how much damage I can do now with the pack bonus and a few more powerful traits.
Sure.
Okay, here we go. Pack leader. You come with me. I'm pack leader now. Okay, let's see. Here we go! Oh my lord!
Holy bananas.
Did you see that? I made the Kisa out here because she was leveling up her gigas for lots of different traits to extract them. And meanwhile she was doing that, I went back home to turn my hell horse into a pygmy. I believe once you turn it into pygmy, you can force it to attack things on your shoulder, meaning that I might see some fireballs. I gave it a few traits to make it a little bit more powerful, since when you turn it into pygmy, all the traits reset and randomize. I couldn't get it to attack when he was on my shoulder for some reason, so I jumped off to fiddle with it instead. Not you! Oh, the horse did something! Oh, the horse is summoning minions! But anyways, I went back home because Kisa wanted me to show how the extraction process worked. Ooh, okay, it has a lot of stats there. Oh, it has the paralyzed Omegalul. Okay, so use it. Oh, it gives us the traits here. Ooh, Juggernaut. Oh no, Seeker.
Oh, we got it. We got the Prime trait, the Mega trait, the U trait, the UW trait.
The Seekers never showed up, but this is basically what the Kisa was doing with our gigas, because we had 1 billion gigas in storage. I went out to test the Dimorphodon's fireball ability, and it was honestly not all bad. But after messing around for a bit, I managed to get the Hell Horse to attack now off my back, but it was horrible making them attack my targets. The bear didn't really summon any dinos, but it could encourage dinos with 7.5 damage and defense. And after I tested it around, I found another legacy compy out, so I went out to tame it. But after taming it, I immediately got targeted by Seekers, and I didn't want to lose my experience. And a little bit later, the Kisa was fighting a possessed Megatrike and needed assistance. But in the middle of it, a Seeker Giga spawned in, along with the second one that completely shredded my Giga. What is that?
Oh god. Yep, nope, maybe I want to get out of there. Oh.
And there goes my super leveled up Giga. So on day 88, I had to start building up my new Giga. I had already planned out the build for it by using the Docs calculator. I couldn't give it the Prime Juggernaut nor the Mega Runner trait because I forgot that the Giga needs to hit the high Paragon level for those. So I went out to slay everything. I had some weird issue as well with my character where I couldn't move as I wanted. The game was basically pushing me. Oh my god. What is happening?
What is happening with your game?
I can't drop my pygmy.
You're just wiggling?
I can't drop my pygmy. My pygmy is stuck on my shoulder. Oh my god. What is happening? I'm being pushed out of the teleporter. Please help. Please. I can't move. I can't get my pygmy off my shoulder. Help.
Stay still.
I can't. It's moving on its own.
But now I could turn it into a Prime Giga.
Yeah, nice. Oh my god, I have even less movement speed now. Minus 32. Oh Christ.
I had this tumor, and this time I decided to let it reveal what was inside it. I was pretty disappointed to see it was just a corrupted Rex. But either way, after fighting this death worm, I could finally give my Giga the Prime trait, but I had this bug again where I couldn't move or throw my pygmy off my shoulder. I had to have a Kisa teleport to me to knock me out.
Stop wiggling.
But a bit later, it was time to open some loot boxes again. The first one was just the Dimorphodon, then a monkey, and the third one was a leech.
It's a leech.
What do you do with this again?
I don't know, but he's beautiful. I'm coming right now. Well, let's see if I wiggle around. Oh, it's been too long.
No, I love him. Please, can I keep him?
Either way, I went out because there was a high-level legacy Alpha Dodrex I wanted to try taming. But unfortunately, I couldn't tame it because it had recently slain something, so taming wasn't allowed. Its attack, however, was pretty impressive since it threw egg bombs all around him. But now, when he didn't have the taming buff, he wasn't eating. So I wasn't quite sure if these were tameable at all. On day 90, I tried for another one in the desert, but it still didn't work. But as soon as the doppelganger spawned in, I gave up on the Dodorex. I went out instead to play around with my Raptor Bro to try taking out a Mega Bronto. But my flame ability didn't hit nearly as much as I hoped for. I had spotted a legacy broodmother I could try taming, but she neither ate the kibble nor the raw mutton. I was completely over it after a few minutes. I didn't really want to deal with that temporary no taming buff anymore. But on day 91, I had spotted a 250 Alpha Manticore on the scanner, so I went out to see if it had a nest. Oh, it has a nest!
Don't destroy the nest.
I know. I think it's coming. Come here. Yes!
Well, finally, I got my hands on a 250 Alpha Manticore egg. I had dropped off this egg back home and wanted to look for the nest for this Alpha Fire Dragon, but I couldn't see any nest. I instead went over to Ikisa because she had located a corrupted Alpha Wyvern egg, but I got caught in the blast zone and perished. But with our very fast raids, the Alpha Manticore has now fully grown up. Day 92, I was outside taking down this golden Carno until I saw something. Oh no, it is possessed. Okay. Possessed dinos, no good. I fought this Mega Terror Bird instead when it spawned an incubating egg on top of me after I slayed it. It summoned a couple of Mega Poison Rock Golems and I did not want to mess with that, so I just went to mess with some easier targets for now to level up my Giga. But a bit later, I went to tame my own Legacy Alpha Leech. I was tired of the Hellhorse completely bugging out my character movement on my shoulder, so it will be better getting the Leech. I just had to build it to make it super strong and I was happy with the result. But today was time to make my super strong Manticore. We were aiming for mostly damage and defense instead of movement speed. But I just had to start leveling its Paragon for my last two traits I wanna put on it. The kids had also figured out if we use the entire armor set for a tier, we get rider protection as well. I kinda wish we knew this way earlier, because that could have saved us from so many different moments. But either way, Akisa and I was trying to tame this Legacy Alpha Doad. We had an idea how we're gonna use the Manticore. The plan was to put Akisa on a Doad to tank bosses while I mangle down the bosses with my Manticore from a distance.
Okay, time to turn it into Mega. Boom. Okay, Mega Stat Juggernaut.
But I still wasn't done. I had a few A traits to give it. And unfortunately for me, I wasn't able to put more than one greater trait on it. And for the corruption trait, I got a really good one where it ended up with 192% damage. But I was still being nerfed because I didn't have this Manticore enhancement part that allows me to do my tail whip attack.
Now we have made overcharged. Now we make the Manticore part. We drag it in here. Yeah, here we go. Moment of truth, boys. Horrible aim. Moment of truth. 1,000, that's it?
Oh, 17,000, here we go.
How about the Bronto?
Oh, it spawned a corrupted.
That was easy.
I was trying to fight this corrupt Prime Legacy Alpha Dodorex, but he was able to ground me, so I had to keep it careful.
The aim on this is so ass.
But he was nuking down my minions like they weren't even there, so I ran. And when I flew around on my Manticore on day 95 trying to level him up, a doppelganger spawned in.
Doppelganger? Oh no, do I really want to fight this?
I took him down! Oh my lord! Goodbye, doppelganger! I'm having seekers too!
Everything is attacking me.
They're really trying to stop you.
Oh, here's a corrupted one.
The bounty was tough, but I was able to do it though.
Oh, I got it. Ooh. What did the bounty give me though?
Oh, my first tech gram! Okay, well, getting tech ramps in Dark's ASA is heavily based on RNG, and it has taken me 95 in game days to just get one from the mod. So today I had this potion that I can use to allow Mega Champions to spawn whenever I slay a Mega. Oh, did it spawn? Mega Champion nearby. Oh, there it is. It's a Thyla. The Thyla had a damage increase of 250 times, so this was gonna be scary. Akiza could tank it no problem, but we started noticing a huge issue she was dealing with during the fight. There we go! Yes! But right now, when we defeated our first Mega Champion, the loot was kinda mid. Alright, to the problem Akiza ran into. We usually play these playthroughs in PvE, but with friendly fire on, so I basically damaged Akiza all the time with my fire abilities when I shot her. But anyways, she would just have to deal with it for now until I can get the chance to restart the server and fix it. We still had a little bit of the timer left for spawning in champions. Oh, Mega Champion nearby!
Yeah?
Mega Champion nearby! Oh my god!
I was about to say, what's that over there?
I had to be somewhat careful with my bombs as well, so I wouldn't destroy Akiza on her Doed. But after throwing fire bombs at him for 5 minutes, he was finally slain. And after the server restart later, the new combo of us using the Doed as a tank and a Manticore as DPS, we were able to slay a golden Manag armor, where it then spawned a possessed variant I managed to blast away. But a bit later, when we took down its golden Mega Pyromane, it spawned in a Mega Champion Alpha Bison. He had 175,000 HP, so this was gonna be challenging. I kept my distance while Akiza was tanking it, but my aim was terrible. But then we had a Mega Rock Golem coming over to us in the worst time possible, so Akiza had to bait it away while I was dealing with the Bison. And after a little bit of struggle, he was defeated. On day 97, we took down this golden Mega Champion, which wasn't too difficult now. It was just a tier 3 champion, and his hitbox was perfect for my Manticore. But after taking down that golden Mega Champion, Akiza managed to get a bunch of Warlord Crystals and Summoners.
Oh, wait a minute, what is this? Random high tier alpha spawn token. 5 of them.
You got 5 of them! Oh, it's a Spino. Oh, it's one of those crocodiles. Oh, Manticore. What? You got the Fire Manticore.
Oh, cool. Now I have a Manticore.
And for the rest of the day, I kinda just flew around slaying everything I could because I wasn't sure what we were supposed to do right now. But today was time to make the last crystal for making my character and dinos more powerful. We went out to quickly test it out on the golden Mega Parasaur, and my damage was amazing. But on day 99, it was finally time to fight our very first in-game boss, the Primordial Bear. The boss had a massive health of 700,000 health, and I kept my distance like usual while Akiza tanked it. What is that?
Really not all that bad so far.
Really? You gotta be kidding me.
I've only used my first potion. Oh, that's right. I forgot. They transform. They're stages. You can do more damage now.
Yeah, so these Primo Dinos are capable of transforming into stronger beings at certain stages. So that's something to think about as well. Can you guys go attack the bear? You're literally doing a Primordial and you're just chilling. No bean chilling here. Go in. Well, with that there, we defeated the first Primordial boss, and then we had another one spawning in, which was the Primordial Ice Titan. We already completed the goal of defeating our very first Primordial, but we still wanted to give it a shot at trying out this Ice Titan. So with that bear, I managed to get a summoner for a Primordial Elemental Dire Bear that I could use to get my own Primo Dino and a token for summoning Titans.
Also, like a lot of element.
I don't care about the element. Basically, the Primordial Bear is supposed to be used as a pygmy, I believe. And after turning him into pygmy and applying all of the possible traits on it, it ended up with 130% damage. But it's time to finally attempt doing this Primordial Ice Titan. We were kinda lucky that the Ice Titan was stuck in between some rocks, so now I could focus on maximizing my damage. Oh! What was that? He would occasionally throw these ice bombs as well. Oh, what is that? It was a good thing I lost stamina there. But I was caught off guard when I was just refilling my potions and stamina, and we lost our only powerful manticore. But I think we will end it there, guys. It's been a wild ride on docks, but we tried as far as we could without having any experience of what to do. We went in completely blind, and the gigas we had weren't even capable for this fight, so that's a wrap. But yeah, we had a lot of fun, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!